What's going on, gents? Welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all doing okay. Now, in today's video, I wanted to discuss mistakes and some of the ways that we deal with mistakes as men, and maybe a better way to start dealing with mistakes and actually growing and learning from these negative experiences as such. Now, first and foremost, there's got to come a moment, guys, where you accept that you are a flawed individual. You are a human being with a proclivity to make mistakes. In a biblical sense, a proclivity to sin, right? This is just part of life. There are going to be moments where you do things that are out of character. Maybe you break your good habit that you've been doing for a really long time. Maybe you are having a bit of a rough day and you're feeling agitated and you're feeling stressed, maybe feeling a bit hangry. You've not eaten for a little while and you snap at one of your friends and snap at one of your family, and it's really out of character and you feel strange. Now, a lot of guys, when these things happen, including myself previously, will be overly critical. Now, of course, we don't want to make mistakes. Of course, we don't want to slip up and do things that are out of our character. It's definitely best to avoid those things. But when they happen, it's not a wonderful idea or indeed a strategy for growth to almost bully yourself. You know, there's being angry at yourself, there's saying to yourself, come on man, let's pull it together. And then there's this another level of self-critique that a lot of guys are engaging in. And as I said, look, this is something that I previously used to do. I used to be really, really harsh on myself if I made the slightest error or the slightest mistake. But the reality is, you can't change mistakes. You can't change what's already done. The only thing you can change is what you do next. There is no point being so mad at yourself, reflecting on all the things that are done. Of course, as I said, you're not going to be happy if you slip up. I'm not asking you to walk around with a great big grin on your face when you've just made an error or you've just done something that's out of character. Of course, reflect on it and try and go forward. And when you do go forward, try and avoid making that same mistake twice. You know, it's a different thing entirely when these habits start to build and build and build and you're making the same mistake over and over again. I'm talking here about the one-time mistakes where you slip up, you know, you're agitated, you do something out of character. There's no point, guys, spending all of this time critiquing yourself, spending all of this time in this state of wallowing and in this state of prolonged sorrow, because all you're doing really when you critique yourself to that point, when you bring yourself down to that level, is just creating a state of stagnancy whereby you're so focused on punishing yourself for what's already done and for something that will never ever change that you start to neglect future you and you start to neglect the things that you now can do. Just imagine how much further in life you would be right now if at every single mistake you made, you didn't sit there and spend loads of time thinking about it and stressing about it and feeling bad about it and worrying about it. And instead you said, you know what? That was bad. I don't feel good about that. But I know if I keep thinking about it, I'm gonna enter a period of stagnancy. So I'm gonna forgive myself. I'm gonna make a promise I'm not gonna do that again. And I'm gonna move forward. Imagine how much further you would be in life if you took that approach. You see, as I said, guys, it's not about eliminating any negative emotion. When you slip up and you do something out of character and you make a mistake, you upset your mom, you upset your dad, your girlfriend, whatever, you're gonna feel upset, there's going to be some internal conflict. But if you prolong that for longer than necessary, it goes beyond the necessary moment of which it should have remained. You know, some guys are spending weeks of their life doing nothing, feeling down, feeling depressed because of something that they did a few weeks ago. One little thing. And guys, if you don't catch on to this quickly, if you don't start to form the habit of when you make mistakes, address it for what it is, make a promise to yourself, I'm not going to do that again, and move on, the consequences are real. You're going to create a habit the other way around. And you're going to be the guy that has no ability to get back. You're going to have no ability to exercise resilience, because every slight thing that you do wrong or every slight inconvenience that pops up in your life, you're going to be worrying and stressing and wallowing about things that are already done. So look, if I summarize what I've been talking about today, don't spend more time than is necessary on things that are already done. You made a mistake. Welcome to the human team, my friend. We've all made mistakes. We're all gonna make mistakes. We're not perfect. And hey, what a boring place the world would be if we all were perfect. You imagine just everybody exactly the same, walking the same, talking the same, looking the same, acting the same? No, you don't learn anything from that. Instead, look, learn from your mistakes, make a promise that you're not going to do that again, or at least a very strong effort that you're not going to do that again, because you don't want these mistakes to build up into a terrible habit. But equally, you don't want to build up the habit of becoming the guy who just has no resilience and no adversity, because every time he slips up, even the slightest bit, even when it's not necessarily his fault, he goes into this self-destructive mode. Don't let that become you. But look, I hope you've taken some value from this video today, guys. If you have, make sure to smash the like button, subscribe to my channel for much more from me, and comment your thoughts down below. If you're interested, I run a free men's Discord community. It's a great group of guys. There's about 20 plus guys at the moment in the community. We're all trying to help each other level up our lifestyle, habits, and just provide a bit of support to one another within that community. And if you're interested in hopping on a one-to-one call with me, the link is down below. You can book yourself a slot anytime, and I look forward to seeing you on the other side. As always, guys, thank you for your time and your attention, and I will see you in the next one. Take care.